from New Skin Corporate, New Market Development, please welcome Andrew Pushpanathan.
That's fine.
Namaste, Bagunara. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Navini Naidoo-Coakley, and I'm so honored to be here as an MC for the Indian Market segment with my incredible co-host, Andrew. But before we get started, I'd love to thank our Latin brothers and sisters for an incredible segment. They certainly brought the energy, and Andrew and I are here to continue with that. So gracias, amigos, amigas. So I'm originally from South Africa, but so hi to all my South African Zoomers and all you Zoomers around the world. Thank you for joining us. I currently live in Florida with my husband and 2 children. Well, actually just one now because my daughter recently started college, and she's the reason that I started my New Skin business in 2019. I wanted to come home full time and be a present mom. And because of New Skin, I was able to accomplish that and so much more than I could have ever dreamed of. So thank you, New Skin. When I first came through the doors at headquarters just 2 weeks after I started my business, I was just wowed by the campus, by the incredible community. However, I was the only person, only affiliate of Indian descent. And right then, I had that vision to change that. And so there's no one here that's more excited about the Indian market opening up in 2025. Is anyone else excited? Opening in New Skin's history. Right,
Exactly.
I'm so thrilled to have you here on stage with us. Please introduce yourself to our OTG family.
Good afternoon, New Skin family. How's it going? My name is Andrew Pushpanathan, and as Navini said, I'm from the corporate side on New Skin. I am the Director of Global New Market Development, and I've been with New Skin for a little more than 12 years now. I actually grew up in India, but I lived in Europe for about 4 years, and then I've been living in Provo, Utah for the last 10 years. New Skin is more than a career to me. New Skin also gave me a family. My amazing wife, who some of you might have met yesterday, Alice, the Director of Sales for North America, and I actually met at New Skin. Right? And Alice and I have an amazing, rambunctious little, almost 2-year-old daughter. She keeps us on her toes every day. But yeah, it's been an amazing journey at New Skin. I've done a few different things at New Skin. I've been in our finance team. I've helped design Velocity. I've helped design our China comp plan. I've led our global customer insights team. But this role right here, getting to work with amazing leaders like Navini, that's where I feel the most fulfilled. I am so excited to connect with all of you as we work together to open India. I've been spending quite a bit of time in India recently, and I can't tell you that I can't think of a better place for us to realize our mission of empowerment. And speaking of India, I have the honor of introducing to our stage our next speaker. This is someone who's been with New Skin for almost 28 years now. He's had several roles. He's been in sales, he's been in marketing, he's been a country president, he's on our executive management team. He's someone I consider a close personal friend, a mentor. He was actually a groomsman at my wedding. And he's someone that I've learned a lot about what it means to be a dad. He is an amazing father to 6 children. And, fun fact, 4 of those 6 were in diapers at the same time. Think about that. Quite honestly, I would not be here in front of you, standing on the stage, if it wasn't for this individual. About 6 years ago, when I was working late in the office, he walked up to my desk and he was like, Hey Andrew, we're thinking of opening India. Would you be interested in joining the India launch team? And here we are today. So, please put your hands together and join me in welcoming New Skin's Vice President of Business Opportunity Integration, Mike Keller.
Hello. Hi, it's great to be here today. Firstly, all of you, thank you. Thanks for the invitation. It's good to be here. I was looking for, oh, there you are. Oh, that's all right. I can't see out here. Charlie, if you're here, thanks for the invitation. It's good to be here. This is the first time for me to actually speak in a U.S. Organization event in a lot of years. I first got my start in New Skin in 1997. I started in the U.S. market. I worked as an account manager for several months, and then at the time, New Skin acquired Pharmanex, and I moved over to the Pharmanex team. I worked there for a couple of years before I started my tours of duty overseas. So I've worked in Korea a couple of times, I've worked in Japan, I've worked in Australia, and in my heart always, I got my start in New Skin USA. So it's great to be back with you. Again, my name is Mike Keller. It's great to be here today, and we're going to talk about India, but before we get there, I just wanted to share, I'm all in. I know the theme of this conference is all in. I know you're all in, I can feel your energy. I'm all in, I've been here for almost 28 years, as Andrew said a moment ago. And I love the mission of New Skin. I love what it does, I love how it empowers people to live their best lives, to look their best, to feel their best. And so if it weren't for that mission, I don't know if I would have been here for 28 years. But I just want to tell you, I love it, I'm committed to it, and we're going to do our best on our side to make sure that you have a viable business opportunity on your side. So let's talk a little bit about India. That's why we're here today, in this meeting right here. I'm excited to be here to share with you our optimism for India. As we look at India, there are some things that really jump out at us. Obviously, it's the world's most populous country. We've got 1.4 billion people. It's one thing to say that, but it's another thing then when you dive deeper into the data to understand out of that, you've got a median age of 28 years old. For those of you in the room that aren't either at 28 or for those of you who have long passed 28, think back to that time that you were 28. When I was 28 years old, I was still wondering what I was going to be doing. I was looking for an opportunity, looking for a place that I could call home. And as we have been going back and forth to India for the last couple of years, we've come across a lot of people in this age group that we know are looking for opportunity. They're educated, they're ambitious, and they're looking for opportunity. So this is the biggest thing as we look at this, and we're so excited about India. Out of that median age group, we've got 910 millennials and Gen Z. And then if we dig a little bit deeper, we've got 440 million millennials. So this is the group, they're at that age, that time in life, where they're really looking for their opportunity, the next opportunity. And in India, we see this time and time again as we go over there. We're also seeing a time of great change in India. From the first time I went over on vacation in about 2002. I was living and working in our New Skin Korea office, and I had a week where I didn't have anything to do, so I flew over to India and spent a week over there. From that trip to the first time I went back in 2018, I was astounded at the amount of change that had happened in the country. And then as we started doing our work, we met great business partners, conducted a ton of market research, a ton of both quantitative and qualitative research where we got to really understand Indian consumers, what they're looking for, not only from a product perspective, but from a business opportunity perspective. COVID hit, everything came to a screeching halt. As we started up again post-COVID, we went back there and we were astounded once more at the amount of change that had happened in those couple of years. And it continues to change. Every time we go over there now, on a monthly basis, you can see new buildings, you can see new roads, you can see a lot of things happening in the country. We're super excited about that. Let's talk a little bit about the middle class. Oh, back here, sorry. The middle class right now is 300 to 350 million. Think about that. That's the size of the United States. That's projected to double in the next 20 years to 700 million people. So again, these are the demographics that we're looking for. Emerging middle class and middle class, they're looking for opportunity. We believe we have something that they will be interested in and attracted to. and obviously led by you and the organizations that you're creating, we don't think there's any way we can help it succeed over there. Let's talk a little bit about the differences between India and the other markets where we operate. Back when we opened Nu Skin China 21 years ago, there were a lot of similarities between India and China, India today and China at that time, in terms of income levels of the emerging middle class and middle class. And in India, it's a little bit different. Obviously, as we look at this, their middle class incomes range generally from about $7,000 to $22,000. In China, right now it's between $15,000 and $74,000. Obviously, it has a lot to do with where they live, their jobs. Obviously, the metropolitan areas are going to be making higher, but they've got higher expenses as well. But as we look at this, we realize we've got to do something different as a company. As we prepare to go into India, we need to make sure that our product appeals to the consumers that we're looking for, appeals to people who are looking to build a business with us, and that are priced right and packaged right for the Indian consumer. Let's talk a little bit about how Indians are connecting. I mean, if you look at your life here in the US and in Latin America, you know how you connect and build community with others. The same thing's happening in India, except for it's just at a bigger scale. So you've got 1.2 billion people in India who access the internet regularly. 97% of them access it via their mobile phones. So it's not happening on desktop computers, it's not happening on laptops for the majority of the people, it's happening with their phones. So what that tells us is that we have to get our digital play right for India. We need to have the right feature sets, we need to have the right tools for them to build and manage their business through their mobile phone. And let's talk about social media as another example of what's happening here versus what's happening every place else. Facebook and Instagram are ruling it. We've got 470 million social media users over there, and they're connecting and building community just like all of you are socially. So we believe that these trends, again, play in our favor when we look at opening India. Let's talk about direct sales for just a minute. It's a growing industry. It's small. We're still at 3.4 billion as of last year, US dollars. The difference between what we see in India and what we see happening in other markets is just the rate of growth. They've got 11.8% increase year over year. Last year, their CAGR was at a 13.3% for a 3-year CAGR. So we know it's growing. It continues to grow. More and more people are entering into the direct sales space as an opportunity. And now that we've got about 8.6 million active distributors. Obviously, people come and go, but this 8.6 million is a staple to the industry in India. The one thing that I want to call out, and I've got it in smaller font down there, is you see the 37 female to 63% male ratio. That's different. It's flip-flopped than where we operate in other countries around the world. Typically, in a Nu Skin market around the world, we have about a 75 to 80% female ratio to a 25 to 20% male ratio. So this, as we look at this, we also see signs of more Indian women entering the workforce, more Indian women looking for opportunities to generate money on the side. And so we believe that at this point in time, that opportunity is only going to increase in terms of bringing women into direct sales, and obviously men are interested in it as well. Let's look at how it's broken down. So we've got about 75% of the direct sales revenue is generated from wellness. That's dominated by one company, and they've basically gone and really created the awareness around the importance of nutritional supplementation, of treating your body well, of taking good things into your body. And so we believe that that plays in our favor. Obviously, we've got a very strong nutritional play, we have a very strong personal care play, and those are the top 2 segments in the industry in India. So we're grateful that other companies have gone before us and have created the awareness, because we believe we can come in and tap into that overnight. The gig economy. Just like every place else around the world, it's growing in India. We've got an expectation of a 200% increase in the gig economy workforce by 2030, roughly equaling about 4.1% of the population. Think about that for a little bit. That's about 75, 80 million people that are going to be doing a gig of some kind. Let's bring them into Nu Skin. They're looking for opportunity. They're looking for ways to create a better future for themselves. So let's talk a little bit about this. I want to take a couple minutes. as we entered India and started doing market research, we met some amazing people. And as we talked with them and as we were working on our plans to enter the market and our overall strategy that we're going to utilize to enter the market, we identified some key areas that really are success factors for us. And I think success criteria for you as we measure how we're going to do this collectively, how we're going to enter India. First is the product price value proposition. The Indian consumers that we were able to meet and interview in person in focus groups as well as conduct surveys with, it came back very price sensitive. You've got price, you've got packaging sizes, you have the right products. About 65% of the products in the market in India, in the beauty, as an example, in the beauty and personal care space, are new entrants within the last 5 years. Consumers are looking to try and experience new products. They've got a very open mind. They're not sold on a specific regimen, they're not sold on a specific product, and they're trying new products as they come into the market. So we have to get our product price value proposition right. The way that we're going to do this is we're going to manufacture locally. We've met with some great third-party contract manufacturers. We're doing business with them right now in preparation for the launch. And as we build out that portfolio, it's going to be different than what you see in other new skin markets. The packaging sizes are going to be different. They're going to be smaller, more affordable for the Indian consumer. Affiliate-powered opportunity plan. Let's talk about that for just a second as well. That's something that is at the forefront of our mind because the majority of the people that we're going to be attracting, emerging middle class and middle class, they're looking for a way to make money today, a way to make money this week. And so we need to have a business model in place that's going to enable them to achieve their goals. So that's top of mind for us. The next is the digital first approach. I mentioned a moment ago the propensity and the usage of handheld devices. 97% of the people access the internet on their mobile device. So we know, again, we have to get that digital play right. It has to be easy, it has to be intuitive, and it has to be effective. So they have confidence in using it as they build and manage their business. Next, last here, but definitely not least, is international leader engagement. We have never opened a market in our 40-year history by ourselves. It's always been in conjunction with you, with your organizations, as you build that groundswell and that excitement to go into the markets that we open. We know that the India origin demographic in our company is extremely low. We also know because of that there's a tremendous amount of opportunity. And so with that, we want to create a program where we're partnering and doing this together. We know we can't do it on our own. We have no intention of doing it on our own. We know that the magic lies in what each of you do and how you build your businesses and how you introduce new skin to those around you. So that's a very important part of what we're doing. And then the last thing here, just as a general statement, is although we feel like we know a lot about India, we're learning something new every time we go over there. So we're going with the growth mindset approach of we're going to test, we're going to learn, and we're going to refine as we go along. We don't doubt that there's going to be things that pop up out of the blue that are going to be aha moments for us. We learn things on every trip, and that helps inform us as we refine our launch strategy. So this will be a continual thing that we do. It's going to inform product mix, it's going to inform packaging, it's going to inform business model, it's going to inform the tools and the feature sets that we release to you and all of your organizations. So, why are we all here today? We can talk about India, but there's some things that obviously need to happen as we generate that groundswell that we need to go into the market. Currently, we're in phase one. So we're meeting with third-party contract manufacturers. We're meeting with tax consultants, legal consultants, industry consultants. The thing that's come out time and time again in these meetings has been really reassuring to us, and it gives us great hope to be optimistic. They all say, without a doubt, it's a great time to come to India. Welcome to India. We're so glad that you're coming to build a business in India. It's a time of great opportunity. It's a time of great excitement as people start to look and build businesses for themselves. So with this, we're in phase one. We've got a lot of work going on, but to unlock from phase one to phase two, we talked about this, we need 500 India-eligible brand representatives. At the end of this month in VNG, we're going to be launching a tracker, which will highlight how many India-eligible brand representatives we have around the world. It's going to be anonymized, of course, but it's going to give you a sense for how close we are to getting to that benchmark. As we hit that benchmark, we're going to be going to phase 2. Phase 2 is really when we get into local manufacturing, product production runs. We look at formalizing our digital tool set. We look at organizing more formal trainings on what India will be, what our product portfolio will be, what our business model will be, and then will lead us to the unlock from phase 2 to phase 3. That is 1,000 India eligible brand reps. So when we get to that point, that'll take us to phase 3. That's when we'll start building out the office. We'll start hiring additional staff to help us make this a successful launch in conjunction with all of you. So what can you do today? The opportunity for you today I would say, is endless. As we look at the Indian diaspora around the world, we know that there are a lot of people of Indian origin who are living in the markets where we operate today. So with this, we've got 6.3 million people in North America who are from India. They have ties into India. And so as you consider that, and as you look at the population where you live, we encourage you to go out and invite them to start building a Nu Skin business today. Recruit them, help them see the vision of Nu Skin, and also the fact that we're going in India I think is going to be icing on the cake. So we believe we've got products that are going to be relevant to their needs, an opportunity that they're looking for, and you're the magic in all of this as you go out and build your organizations. So what I would say is think globally, build locally. This is no different than any other market that we've launched in the past, except for we don't have that groundswell right now of people who have the connections into India. As you go out and find them and bring them into your organizations, we're going to get ready and move towards the formal launch. So that's all I had today. I'm going to bring Andrew and Navini back on stage, and they're going to give us some different perspectives that I really can't provide. As a non-Indian, as a person of non-Indian origin, I don't have the insights that they have, having grown up in either India or in a culture that's directly from India. So I'm going to bring them back on stage, and they're going to talk a little bit about what are people looking for? What do they think people are looking for in an opportunity with Nu Skin? So, thank you very much for your time. Look forward to seeing you in the future.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you so much, Mike. Appreciate having you here. And have been working, in the market as we develop. I'm going to let you take this on. Yet I have to share with them the little inside things we know about Indians, right? So the first thing you guys need to know about Indians when you are recruiting them, talking to them, making appointments, because, we're very scheduled on Zoom and the like. You've heard of Latin time? You've heard of island time? You guys, Indian time is beyond that. They are late to their own weddings. So bear that in mind. Seriously, I'm not even kidding. All right, Andrew, give the rest to them.
Yeah, Mike and I get to experience Indian time every time we're over in India, and I can tell you it is a real thing. When Mike asked us about, hey, what can you do to consolidate or condense how you can connect with Indian origin people or Indians, I was like, well, it's kind of hard to summarize and boil down an entire population and how you connect with them. But as I thought back on my lived experiences, I feel like there are certain values or areas that Indians tend to prioritize over others. So for instance, having a sense of security or stability, growth, be it personal or professional, family, very big importance, community, also very important. So as you look to connect with Indians or those of Indian descent, What stories can you share about your new skin experience that got you to a place where like, hey, new skin actually helped me feel a sense of security? What stories can you share about your new skin experiences that said, hey, I had this growth opportunity because of new skin? Indians have a pretty big emphasis on education. I want to share a little story with you on this. So my wife used to think that I was a super smart guy because I have a bachelor's in engineering from India, I have an MBA from Europe, and I have a master's in data science from UC Berkeley. I know, right? But the story gets better because last year, my wife and I went to attend an Indian friend's wedding in North Carolina. And she goes and she's talking to all my Indian friends, and she's like, what? All of these guys have PhDs? And that's not even the worst part. There was a literal rocket scientist who works for NASA in that group. So yeah, you can expect that I'm no longer seen as the smart guy in my household. Jokes aside though, I am a firm believer that there is more that unites us than separates us. And this comes from someone growing up in a country that is so vast and diverse that each state almost feels like its own country. In fact, I had the opportunity to meet some fine Indian gentlemen last night, Navini and I did, who are guests of Dr. Stephen Moore, and we just got to talking and we're like, hey, they're from all different parts of India. And I would encourage those of you here to find them and talk to them as well. Because what you'll notice is they're from different parts of India, they have different journeys, but they also have some commonalities. And I would encourage you to find those commonalities. As Mike said, as you look to think globally and build locally, and I know Navini does a lot of this as well. Navini, you've got Indian origin brand affiliates in South Africa and the Pacific. What are some themes that you've seen?
Oh, I absolutely agree with everything you've said so far, yet community is so important, being shoulder to shoulder. Food is always a highlight, so if you're attending a business meeting or you're hosting one, food may be an option you want to think about. It's going to draw the Indians in. Yet the values that we were talking about, right, like family values, being authentic, that is super important as well. They like to be wined and dined. They don't like to be rushed, they take their time. Yet if you do take your time, invest in them, like Andrew said, share your stories, they're definitely going to relate to that, and that's what's going to draw them into your business as well. So thanks for asking, Andrew.
Yeah, definitely. Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. I mean, everything worth having in life doesn't come easy, right? No one's going to disagree with that. And India is just going to be just like that. It is a hard country. There's actually a meme that says India is not for beginners. And I believe that. I mean, having grown up there and going back now, having lived outside of India for so long, I'm like, yeah, I don't think I would survive if I just grown up outside, not having that Indian experience. But when you think about it, the last couple of days that I've been here, having the opportunity to observe this amazing group of leaders, I'm like, I don't think there's any other group who I would feel more confident in. I'm like, you guys are gonna make it happen. I believe in it. I've seen the energy in this room. It's gonna be exciting. And we wanna spice this up, right? We wanna make sure that we are rewarding the right set of leaders that are helping us enter India as well. So we have this awesome program called the India Founders Program that you can find more information on. We're at time, but you can find more information on this under your program section in the office, in my office. All right. So that kind of wraps it up for our section on Mike. Before we head into the next section,
yes.
Amini?
So we have an exciting update for Nourish the Children. Do we have that slide available?